I'm waiting for this thing to start. I'm having some issues with some major issues today. So let me just make this short. And my son was like, Mom, why are you making a live stream? Why don't you just make a video? And he's probably right, but I don't put that much effort into my stuff to do all that. So um, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Um, First, I never want to discourage anyone from helping others. I believe deeply in helping people. I think it's important. It's something that's a core part of who I am as a person. And um, so I definitely encourage people to, and there's lots of different ways of helping people. There's advice, resources, encouragement, prayer, finances, job leads, all kinds of things, referrals, whatever. But I just want to say this. I received some disturbing news today in which I discovered that my nonprofit organization has been scammed out of thousands, and yes, I mean thousands of dollars. And I had to make phone calls to the bank. I had to fill out forms. I'm trying to dispute transaction and make phone calls. And I'm just going to be very candid. Everything, all of the transactions seem to heavily indicate that these scams were perpetuated by most likely by interviewees from various different street channels. And there's certain things that I cannot say publicly yet. In part because I don't want to alert these people because they may be, I don't think I'm the only, I think I'm far from the only one, from the only person and or organization that has been targeted. And I wouldn't have even known if not for a notification that came in. So these people are some very sophisticated scammers. When I tell you, there are a lot of protections in place when you have an organization or a business that are, may not be as easily available to the greater public, like to people for their personal accounts. But when I tell you there's so many different apps and ways to, and now that people are using AI, like businesses are using AI to verify things and to authorize users. People can just, if they can find some information online, they can enter some information, the name, address, email address, phone number, whatever, doesn't even have to match. If they can find existing accounts that are in good standing, they can siphon away money. So, unbeknownst to me, like a lot of these types of different apps will will deposit a tiny amount of money, 2 cents, 5 cents, 50 cents, right, into an account. And just to make sure it exists, then they will, like in a day or two, a business day or two, withdraw that money, but they'll make a credit. Once that's been done, they know the account is active. People will start making transactions, like, and they will do the so under what look like legitimate names. So 300 here, 500 here, 100 here, 50 here, and you won't even know. And so I discovered today that my nonprofit has been scammed out of thousands of dollars of different transactions that we never authorized. And I can't even get the names of the people, only locations for some of them, because the companies can't disclose that if you are not the actual account holder. So they'll use the information for your account, your Cash App, or your Venmo, or your PayPal, or your account number, routing number, whatever, but they'll use their name, or maybe not even their real name, a name, an address. A lot of these accounts don't ask them to upload an ID or a social security or whatever. They just put in information. They check. They'll do these things where they'll ask if this is a which one of these addresses is correct, and they'll give three or different choices of addresses. And if anyone can Google and use lookup.com or who is or whatever, they can find, oh, this person lived in San Francisco or Chicago this year or whatever, and they can pick the right one. So they have these different things, these little captchas that a sophisticated scammer can easily pass. And next thing you know, they're pulling money out of your organization to support their drug habit or whatever the hell they're doing with the money. And so I'm frustrated because I have a small organization. I don't take a salary for my work and I work my butt off. Okay. On top of working at a university, I have another job. But for my to pour the money into what I'm doing to support the people that I support, I don't take a salary. I have a very small team. I have less than five. My team is less than five. Okay. I have a very small staff. We're tiny. So, and I help families and I do different things that we're doing. So now, because there are greedy people who are sophisticated with the internet, now we are out of money that we need for things that we need to take care of. And so I'm pissed. And so I want to tell you, when people come on with their different situations and their sob stories, and they don't have a place to live, and they don't have this, that, and the other, think very carefully and be very cautious about how you help these people. If you want to get sent a cash app or whatever, or you want to do different things, maybe create an entirely different account away from your real personal or business accounts. That's into, that you use some kind of gift card or something that's, where you dump money intentionally for that purpose and use that only for those different things. Because these people have no consciousness whatsoever. They I'm sorry, I'm probably all over the place, probably not even making sense. I am just infuriated right now about this because, again, my nonprofit is small, but we do the best that we can to help people. And now there's people I'm not going to be able to help because of a-holes who stole money. Okay. There is a family right now that I'm helping a couple of states away, a mom and her children that I had promised some money to her while she's just started a new job and hasn't gotten a paycheck. And I had sent her some money recently, and I promised I'd send her some because she's still trying to get SNAP in the state that she's in and get settled. And I'm not going to be able to send her that money now. You know what I mean? So, I'm just so frustrated and annoyed by this. And so I just want to caution you all out there. Again, I'm not saying don't help people who are in difficult situations. I am not saying that at all. But I'm just saying protect yourselves, because you may think you're protecting yourself, but these people have ways of they have networks, and they just know how to do stuff. This isn't the 2020 scam, you know what I mean, or the 2016 scam. They found new ways to do things to finesse folks. And I'm sorry, I haven't been. I just realized there's some people in the chat. I want to greet you all who are here. Um, and you're right, my organization was Docs. Basically, people have entered the information for my nonprofit in various different apps to get money for themselves. I can't name the apps because I'm actually going to make police reports today, but the apps won't release the names of the people. But basically, there have been a number of different transactions that have occurred throughout this month, and there might be some as far back as last month. When I was scrolling through, I just didn't notice them because they do them in small increments at first, and when you're taking care of business, I don't check my account, and my bank stuff daily. Why would you? You know what I mean? You're running a business, you don't do that, But I'm just so frustrated because you help these people out of your kindness of your heart, that you don't have to help them. You don't have to do anything. For people to do this is just wrong. And I don't think I'm the only one. Why would it just be me? Because I'm not some baller. There's a lot of folks. So if they can do it to me, y'all need to go check your accounts. It might have happened to you. Especially if you've done it with a business or a nonprofit. I think it's easier. When I was talking to one of the customer service representatives, they explicitly told me, "Oh, well, the system is supposed to cross-reference, but it's harder to cross-reference sometimes with business accounts because they have different authorized users and something. So if the name doesn't match, it's not a flag in our system like it would be for a personal account." Like, this is crazy. And so as some of you know, I've watched, Soft White Underbelly, Atlanta Street Interviews, Real Right Uncut, several of these channels, Lost in Phoenix, for a number of years. I've helped different people. I'm not helping a effing soul from this internet anymore, other than, there are people I've developed relationships with and I support. But a single new person, screw all of you. I'm not helping any of you. They got access because what happened is they actually didn't have access, but they entered the information into these. So they actually don't have access, but what happened is they entered the information into these different apps that they're using, and the apps verify either your card or your account and make sure it's existing. So the apps, there's like, I guess, fail safes in these accounts that are not working. You know what I mean? Like little glitches that people have learned how to manipulate. And so they're supposed to make sure, like, this would all be fine if it was your real account, right? If it's your real account, it's fine. They're just checking to make sure it's a real account, it's active, it's open, it's not negative, all this kind of stuff. But they're doing it with other people's accounts. They Golden, there is one, there's a, right now there's a pending ACH, I'm sorry, not ACH. There's an AC, there is a pending ACH for one of them, but there's an electronic check. I don't know if they, I even don't even know if they created any paper checks, but there's an electronic check that was just cashed for $600 on the 16th. There's a pending $500 one that's pending today. There's a couple of little smaller transactions. I just didn't know. See, they're not stupid. They're not going to do $1,000 at a time, right? $2,000 at a time. So they do a couple hundred here, 75 here, 50 here. Um, so apparently there's supposed to be two-factor authentication. So when I called them, they asked me for my information, but they said, oh, well, we can't disclose the active account holders. But so there is two-factor authentication. It's just not me. It looks like they're just taking money. There's no purchases. There appear to be no purchases thus far, just money. I don't know who did this. And again, I don't even want to center it on just ASI because I've helped people from Real Ride and Uncut too, and those folks are scammers too. But I do have to say, um, I can't say too much, but unfortunately, a particular city was indicated in at least one of the transactions. It's just, it's a hot mess. And I'm mad at myself. We have closed our business account. We're going to have to I'm going to reopen with an entirely different bank. They're investigating. They're trying to be helpful. I'm grateful for the bank. I'm grateful for some representatives more helpful than others, but I'm just really sickened. They said that what happens is if the bank so, some of these things, some of the people are using, I guess, I think, cards, or I don't know, there's some type of stuff that are non-bank things, like, I don't, they mentioned the names, I didn't really recognize these things, but I guess there's a whole community of people who are unbanked, or don't use traditional banks, but they use some type of other cards or means of getting their money, and money goes into those things, and those are supposed to be able to be tracked. But whether or not those are people are using their actual names or dummy names or someone else's name, I don't even know. But they said that, although they can't reveal it to me, that if it's charged back to, if it's credited back to the account, which some of them can't be, they said, because or they might not be, or whatever, that then it triggers an investigation on their end, and they will freeze that person's account and ask for more verification and ask for more information. I feel like from there they're just going to move on to the next fool. They've already gotten their money, but and I don't know how many people are involved in doing this and how successful they are, if they just try different things and see what works and what doesn't work. And I don't know if I have to look back and see how much this has been happening, because my kids have been out of school since May. So I have been ripping and running with the kids' movies and going out to eat and swimming and different stuff like that. So I haven't even really been checking stuff. So for all I know, it could have, I don't think it's gone on longer than that though. I don't. But I'm just frustrated, and I just want to encourage everyone again, help people, but be careful. And maybe, what, Marcus has mentioned, as well as Ghost, that there's a reason why they get cash and pay folks with cash. Um, the first one I noticed was on when I went back, is July 7th, I think. Well, it posted July 7th. But I was so upset. I started, so I don't think there's any earlier than that, but I need to check. I need to check and be certain. Um, but the most recent one was today, and then there was something July 16th. But again, I also don't know if they're posting on that day from what I can see, but if the transaction happened like a day before or 2 days before. But this is just very frustrating and hurtful, because there are regular everyday people out here working, living our lives, doing what we need to. Nobody's handing us anything, and I'm willing to help people, but I'm not willing to be stolen from. So today, what day is today? I don't even know. It's July 17th. I'm done. Screw all these people. I did donate to one of the GoFundMe's, but this happened before that. I believe the only one I donated to was the one for Miss Carla Herring. I need to double check. And now that I feel stupid, I donated to that through my nonprofit too. Like a lot of stuff I do, I don't do because it's, I'm trying to help and support people. So I'm not doing it with my personal funds. But just be careful, people, with the transactions that you're doing. Um, just be careful. I thought I was being careful. I thought I was being wise. And I'm sure that there's people, because there's people online who don't like me, who are going to take this and laugh and be like, ah ha ha, she's so stupid. She's autistic. She's stupid. She's so gullible. I don't regret the people that I've helped willingly. I do regret people who have taken money that you weren't entitled to. And I hope you get everything that you deserve from me and whoever else you've taken advantage of or harmed. I hope that your comeuppance occurs at some point. And so I really just wanted to come on here and warn you all. Be careful. Please check your accounts. If you use PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, your different bank accounts, check them. Look for transactions from organizations, from companies. They're not going to be from people. Look for from different companies that do different financial transactions. Anything strange. Look for small amounts, because a lot of times if you might have your account filtered only for like big things, like you're thinking of big fraud. You need to look for small things, because these people are smart. They're not going to take big amount of money. If they had taken like 1,000, 2,000, something like that, I would have noticed right away. But I'm not going to notice 100, 300, 500. I didn't notice that because I have other transactions that my business is doing that, of those same amounts. So it didn't catch. I didn't catch it. But you all, please be careful. Go check your stuff and be very careful who you help. If you want to make a money order, I know it sounds old school, but you can still go to the post office and buy a money order with cash or with a debit card, pay it and mail somebody some money. Help folks that way. Or if they need diapers or something, if they need clothes, get the size and send them the thing, or send a gift card. Be careful making electronic transactions. And if you are doing any type of stuff on YouTube, or TikTok or Instagram or whatever with your business or nonprofit, shut that stuff down. It's not safe. I'm really upset, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. I'm sorry this was a very disjointed live, but I just I'm just so mad. And to the thief or thieves, f you. You suck. You are sick and disgusting. And just know that you hurt a family with what you just did. I hope you enjoy your whatever drug or substances or clothes or whatever the freak that you spent your money on. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun with whatever you did. And I hope the police come for you. Y'all have a blessed day. I gotta go.